what ideas do you have to improve access and mobility in our downtown area? I have thought with all our groups having fairs and festivals, maybe around April we should have a Take Back Our Town festival. But even that wouldn't work because we're all really tied up. My family has just about sworn off going downtown because they can't park and it's too crowded and we get jostled off the sidewalks. What ideas do you have?
You all had that effect last weekend when your streets were closed down for an arts festival. The Atlantic was closed down on the east side of the bridge. Very inconvenient and more traffic through our beautiful neighborhoods, which really does. Carol, the first thing that I would like to do is have a study on all these festivals we're having and see if we could move them. They're great to have these festivals, but maybe we have all these gorgeous parks. Can they happen in the parks rather than in the middle of the street? I mean, and that way traffic would flow. One of the things I fear about this town is that our neighborhoods are going to be negatively impacted by all that's going on, by the traffic, by the development, by the unintended consequences of growth. So I would love to study the possibility and the probability of moving the festivals off the streets into the parks. We have gorgeous parks here. Why aren't we using them for our festivals? That would be the first thing. The second thing is we kind of get these restaurants under control. It's really nice to, it's like being on the Champs-Élysées, eating outside, and we have this gorgeous weather. But enough is enough. You got to be able to walk. And some of them are blatantly offending the rules, and they're not being followed. There's nobody taking away their licenses for chronic offenders. Why aren't we taking away the licenses of the sidewalk cafe licenses of the people that are chronically not following the rules? I mean, if you drive wrong enough times, you get your license taken away. The same thing should happen with the restaurants. Many of the restaurants are very wonderful and they abide by the rules, but there are some that you can't even, if you have a baby carriage, good luck walking downtown because it doesn't happen. So we have to work on that too. I think those two things would be a really good start. Thank you.
Even without the various festive activities, there's gridlock, from Swinton eastward. And I think that's a byproduct of, the tremendous growth. We can't increase, the area. We thrive on, that's a vital part of our economy. I think perhaps maybe the only circumstances under which relief is going to come is that, as we proceed with the development of West Atlantic Avenue, and we begin to have establishments, similar to those that we have east of Swinton, that will open up, the avenue for, I guess, maybe more parking, less traffic congestion, but you've got to have similar type establishments, and I don't say exactly the same, but you've got to have similar type establishments with regard to the construction along West Atlantic Avenue, and that's probably the only viable relief that you're going to get, from the gridlock that we're currently, confronted with on Atlantic Avenue east of Swinton. That's a byproduct of the progress that Delray Beach is having, and it would be nice if we could expand the area, and create more space, but we can't.
First of all, I think we need to pause. We need to see what's going on here. We've approved when I say we, our city, none of us, because we haven't been on the commission, but our commission has approved a lot of projects that many of them, they haven't even dug the first shovel of sand yet. A huge project was approved just over this bridge here recently. And it was approved without a traffic study being done. Dr. Smith alluded to it earlier that you need data, you need facts, right? We're going to make a decision like Atlantic Crossing. We're going to make a decision like these other projects that are being done. And we're not going to say, we need to try, hey guys, let's do a traffic study first. Let's see if this is feasible. Instead, okay, rubber stamp. We know every developer that had a project, they knew they didn't need a traffic study because they knew that certain commissioners would vote yes no matter what. We have to take a stand as citizens and say, we want a traffic study. We want to know what the impact is forget about what's already being built, that's already built. What about all the projects that are approved that has not been built yet? What is that impact going to have on us? I told a story to someone in our city recently. I build fires like I'm a Boy Scout leader. I'm a volunteer in the Boy Scouts for. I'm an Eagle Scout, but I'm a volunteer for 25 years in the Boy Scouts to build fires. And anybody here built a fire? If you put too much wood on a fire at once, it smothers it. It needs oxygen to breathe. You put kindling on, you put wood on slowly, and then eventually you'll end up with a bonfire. But if you try starting it all at once, it's not going to survive and it's not going to sustain. Growth is important, but it has to be done smart. It's just like building a campfire. It has to be done right if you want a quality campfire. You want to have those s'mores, you've got to work for it. And that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to get the s'mores without working for it. So we've got to take a step back. We've got to look at what's already built. And let's start talking to these builders about other areas. You want to build, we need to provide jobs, we need to provide construction, but there's other projects, there's other areas of the city where we can help them find and they can build, and we can have corporations, coming into our city. All I hear at city commission meetings, we want corporations and corporate headquarters to come into our downtown. I want corporation headquarters to come into our city, not necessarily our downtown. Because I want, like even Christina said, they're going to come into downtown, that money goes to the CRA anyway. It doesn't pay for extra firefighters, doesn't pay for extra police officers. It doesn't pay for the most important thing that Christina just alluded to, was all this, the sidewalks and this and that. Why isn't it being enforced? Because we don't have enough code enforcement officers. The few men and women that do that job, they do a great job, but there's just not enough of them. Why don't we have more code enforcement officers to stop that? Because we're not listening to the taxpayers and saying we want that stopped, we want to be able to walk on the sidewalk, and we're not using our priorities correctly.
Mobility happens to be my sweet spot, given that we started HPD, Human Power Delray, about a year and a half ago. Just for that main reason. Congestion is a major problem in our city, and I think with all these units coming online, we got a really big potential problem on our hands. And I think everyone has brought up great ideas, there's no doubt. I mean, there's a lot of things that I think we can do and we should do. You mentioned the transportation study, no doubt. I mean, that's very important for us, and do it now. And we're going to do it again when these units come online. But we're living today in this space. We need to make sure that it works for us today. And not wait for a year or 2 years before these units come online, when there's going to be even more problems. There's singular issues that I think we all have heard here. I think they're all important. Another one is, let's activate the alleys. The alleys are a very important network for our city. It's a great way for us to get around. And it's a great way for us to get around safely. Everybody complains about Atlantic. I actually like the fact that Atlantic's a little congested. Makes it, nice to cruise by. It's safe for all of our visitors and us. If I need to get someplace, I'm not using Atlantic Avenue, right? But with that said, there's a lot of issues around Linton. I mean, we've got problems. There's no doubt. I'd actually like to kind of take the conversation and build it up a level, create more of a vision. We've got a lot of singular units coming online, residential units. That creates a very big problem in the fact that we love where we live because it's Delray. And it's based on a great food and beverage industry on a Friday or Saturday night, even during the week. We'll go out and we'll have a blast, right? But with that, when we wake up in the morning, we're driving out of town to go to work, right? So that
Not all of us.
not all of us, right? Neither me. I work here as well. But in most cases, that's the case, right? Because our industry is very, we don't have a lot of industries that we support. I think it's very important that we create a vision where we have more office space, and we actually have a lot of empty office space today. And I think, Christina Morrison said, being able to bring businesses here. That's very critical. Small businesses in town, Delray, so that when these units come online, they have a place to work. If they don't have a place to work, our congestion problem is going to accelerate. And with my business expertise and the background of being able to understand how businesses work, being able to attract them to Delray is going to be a benefit that I'm going to be able to bring online. That's where I think we need to really think about, be able to create those jobs and make sure those jobs are here locally. Not only for us today, but also for our kids in the future to be able to come back home. So with everything that they said, I think the economy aspect of it around bringing businesses to Delray will help actually mitigate that, because then we'll actually create a place where we can not only live and play, that we'll also be able to work in as well. And I think too, Dr. Smith's point is we can add learning to that in addition. So if we can create a community with all four of those, we'll have a really nice family table to eat off of.